Grandies and granddad's, greetings and salutations. Listen, I go by the name of the Black Abstract. And Mayor Kingstown, Season 1, Episode 10, titled, This Piece of My Soul. As we know, last episode was the craziest episode of the season. And it's been a lot of good episodes this season. But that last episode, boy, I said, woo! I don't know how they gonna top that. And, I wouldn't say they topped it, but this was equally as good, I would say. It's starts off with Mike playing hubby with Iris in the house. And it's funny because she's making fun of the fact that they're trying to live this old domesticated life when they're both two fucked up people internally. But she's still making a play on it. Like, aren't you supposed to say this? And you're supposed to say this, and, you know, Mike's going along with it. But he leaves her in the cabinet, and then he's going down that hill, and that place he was telling Iris, he was like, yo, look at this. This is my favorite thing. When he loses the signal, that's why he hasn't been getting any calls. He doesn't have any signal or nothing where he lives at, which is kind of like, ain't that kind of dangerous at the same level? What if somebody's coming to get him, and he, unbeknownst to him, he wouldn't know because he don't get no signal. But anyway, he's driving, and his signal turns on, and he's getting a flood of messages. Mom, Rebecca, everybody. And you see him scroll up. He's looking for his brother Kyle. Automatically, he knows some shit up. Turns on the radio. He hears that the prison has been undertook. And he is like, what the fuck is going on? And automatically, he runs to the rescue. Calls his mom first. And as he's calling his mom, some officers wind up coming to the house asking if they seen Kyle. And Mike's telling her, no, don't tell him. And I didn't know why at the when he was doing it or why he was saying it. But I guess if she tells them that she hasn't seen them, they'll put it over the radio, and then the inmates will know that they're in there, and then they'll try to take them hostage, and it'll be a shit show. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he figures his brother is smart enough to hide, which is what he was doing. And boy, did he have a fucking breakdown this episode. I'm like, dude, get a fucking grip. Especially when SWAT was there. I would have got super cocky. Like, yeah, Hondo here. That's a SWAT reference for if you don't watch. Anyway, so we see that happen. And of course the mom doesn't listen. She's so bullheaded. She just does her own fucking thing. And sometimes she gets on my damn nerve. But she doesn't even listen to Mike. She's just like, yeah, last night I saw him. Yeah, I saw him last night. You know what I'm saying? She was about to listen to Mike. But I think for the simple fact that it was Mike, she didn't want to listen to him. She's a fucking asshole. Back at the yard, when Mike finally get there, we see my boy, dude. I love this dude. The guy that plays the SWAT leader. What is his name? I'm trying to see if I can find it. They gonna show me? No, I don't get to see it. Yeah, dude, I love this dude, though, man. He's fucking awesome. He just come in and he's like, we're not going to do this. He was like, who's in charge? He's like, we're not playing this game. If he wants to talk to me, tell him to, like, he's just, every scene he's like this in the season. Just a badass. He don't take no shit from nobody. It's his way or the highway. But he learns that two officers or two detectives are in there, and he fucking start yelling at the captain. So you got three people trying to take a charge. You got the state, you got SWAT, and then you got the National Guard. They're all trying to take in the warden, you know. So they're all trying to take control of the situation, and they're arguing about who should take control of the situation. And the guy is just like, listen, let's just fucking do this shit, get it over with. You know what I'm saying? But he yells at them and tells them, like, there's two detectives in there. Are you jamming? If you're jamming the communications, how are they going to be able to text out if they're in there? And he unjams the communications lines, and but I was just like, yo, this dude is fucking intense. I'm sorry I can't see his name on the on my thing. Normally it does. I don't know what's going on with it. It's being weird. But yeah, I was just like, yo, that's pretty sweet. Like, he's dope. We see a helicopter flying around, reporting a riot, right? Typical news shit. These motherfuckers start shooting at the damn copter. I said, what is going on here? Like, what? Why are they doing that? And I thought the copper for a minute. I thought the copper was going. I mean, I thought the chopper was going down. I said the copper. I thought the chopper was going down. Boy, it was like, and then they played it all, pulled up. But I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers savage. They shooting at the bird in the sky. They really don't give a fuck. And everybody just like, yo, what the hell is going on? Then you got this one captain, police captain. He's so cool. The black dude with the glasses. He's so smooth, like Billy D. Williams. Down at the prison in the boiler room, we still see Kyle and the other detective, trying to get out, trying to get loose, to no avail. They thought they coming up on the exit, but they see it's guarded by inmates, and they decide to go the other way and hide out some more. Actually, the inmates were dragging somebody down the stairs. I'm not sure who that was, if that was a guard or if that was another inmate. Looked like it might have been another inmate. But, God, could you imagine all the stuff that's going on in that prison, what they being run? How many motherfuckers was getting the R word? I don't want to say it, but, you know that stuff they do in jail with, Anyway, I don't want to talk about, like, think about stuff like that. Then you got all them fucking deps that lost their lives. And, man, that's a sad situation, man. It's crazy, man. These people fucking crazy in there, man. Animals, man. But we see that the phone become unblocked. Kyle texts his Mike immediately. Track my location. He's so fucking scared. He's such a pussy. I'm sorry. I know I would be in that situation too, but he's just like, his partner is older. He like, man, when you older, you done seen some shit. You just like, man, whatever. It is what it is, but I'm going to fight to the end. This motherfucker just turned straight bird shit. Oh my God, track my location, please. Send a beacon. Oh, and curled up in the fetal position and grabbing his phone. I'm like, what a pussy. Anyway, Mike winds up getting a text, tells him to hang tight. They wind up tracking his location. They see that he is at a particular location. They realize it's underground. And I love the fact how they got in there, which is weird because I'm like, yo, why they don't get out the same way they went in? But I guess they couldn't do that for some. I think it was they didn't want to blow their cover or show that they were in there. Or I think they got to a certain point. They had already breached. They were like, yo, we in here already. Might as well just fucking, you know what I mean? Take the prison back. SWAT is bad. I got so much respect for the SWAT, man. I ain't going to even lie. Out of any fucking people I respect the feds, obviously, because I don't want no problems with them. And this SWAT, man, no motherfuckers, never want no problems with them. Those motherfuckers just go in shooting. They not trying to hear none of that shit. They got orders to shoot. It don't matter if your hands up. If you, man, they knocking you right down. They knocking you right off. Boop, 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 boop. 5 in your fucking noggin. We see that the inmates want to talk to Mike. So they give him the phone. And then and the one guy was grilling him. He was like, yo, how are you talking to the prisoners? Like, why they want to talk to you? He's like, I'm a liaison for the prisoner. He's like, what? I just looked up. You're a confidential informant. Isn't that a conflict of interest? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, he got a point. And Mike said something smart. But they wanted to talk to him and they wanted him to come in. And he's like, yeah, I don't think that's happening. They're not going to let me. And he's talking to the leader of the essays. And he comes to find out that this guy, he's not the one really in charge. And I'm sorry if I said, I don't mean to offend anybody by saying essays. I mean the Hispanics, I'm guessing. But you listen, man. I'm black, dude. I call myself the N-word on this channel. So I don't want to hear none of that sensitive shit on my channel. But anyway, he's in there, and he's talking to him. And he could tell he's reading something off a script, which Mike figures out that he's not in charge. He's not really the one leading this thing. And it sucked for Dude because I don't think Dude had no intentions of going back in there. He just kind of got shuffled in the mix. You know, he had a parole violation, and then all of a sudden, Mike got him out and told him to keep his nose clean and was trying to keep the peace. And then all of a sudden, he got picked up on that parole violation again, or something happened, and then he wound up getting shuffled in there, and he was just chilling, but they kind of like wanted him in there, I think, man. They fucked him up. Anyway, they tell Mike and them to look at the screen. to see what's going on, and they take a look at the screen, and you can see they bring the prisoners out. You know, the three main guys that always talking shit, black guy and the one guy that I really didn't. I ain't gonna say I didn't care for him too much, but you kind of see he had it coming because he was always stirring the pot up. They bring them out. They got something over their eyes, and they tie them up. They kind of humiliate them. They got like a public execution for them. And, man, you can see they took them through the ringer, man. They beat the shit out of all of them. The one dude had the same energy to the end, though. The white dude I'm talking about. The one that was starting the shit up. He had that same energy to the end. The black dude was kind of just like, man, I just want to get the fuck out of here. But he was like, fuck you, fuck you. I said, he keeping that same energy. I like it. And there was another white guy too, another white cop. He was keeping that same energy as well. I'm like, yeah, I like it. That's what you're supposed to do. Keep that same fucking energy. We also see that we see that they want Mike to come in. Mike saying he can't. And then they decide to execute one of them right there on the live feed. And I'm like, oh, man, that let them know they were serious about what was going on. Well, Mike's trying to figure out the list of commands, which they're not giving until he comes up in there and shit. But that was crazy that they fucking did that on the joint. I'm like, oh, man, this ain't going to be good at all. This ain't going to be good at all. Like I said, all right, next thing we see, the SWAT has found a way to breach inside the building. They go through a manhole cover, dip down in there, and they so fucking smooth, boy. I'm like, ooh. Mike decides to go in. They're going to put a vest on him, and he's going to go and talk to him. You know, I think just because he didn't want anybody else to get killed. We see Milo got a fucking bow. Like a lock cutter, is cutting locks off the lockers and looking for, you know. He's the only one thinking smart. Like, he the only one trying to get the fuck up on out of there, man. Everybody else is fucking going chaotic, doing some other shit. That's what I would have been doing. I would have been trying to get, soon this shit would have started, I would have got the fuck up on out of there. I would have, soon the shit would have took off, I would have found a way out that motherfucker and be out the front fucking door and gone. Before shit even popped off. But when it popped off a little bit to where they had the prison, but nobody really noticed, I would have like, exit, buzz me out, fucking found some car keys, took them, you know what I'm saying? I would have been good. Fuck all that shit. I ain't trying to be in the midst of all that shit, for real. We see that Kyle and his partner are having a panic attack because they're kind of cornered in. You know, the inmates are like right on the other side. And they're about to, they find them. They got flashlights and they about to clip them off. And the old dude, like he was another one, had the same energy to the end. He's like, man, I'm going to take some of y'all with me. He's like, yeah, you're going to take some of us, not all of us. And it's about to go down. And then all of a sudden, SWAT comes. Laid them all out. I said, man, these boys ain't playing. And they just chop it. Like I said, like I'm watching now. Dudes running away and SWAT just chopping them down. Like they got their back turned. They don't care. They was laying any and everything out. Kyle punk ass still having a panic attack. They telling me you need to soldier up and man up and face it. You know what I'm saying? Cause he like, yo, I just want to get out of there. But they was like, no, we not going the shortcut way. We ain't going the way we came in. We going the other way to get out. Which means we chopping everything down. You know what I'm saying? The way they got it too, they got a formation. They got each side covered. So 2 in the front, 2 in each side, and then 2 in the back, I think. And they just, however, go pop, 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 pop. They chopping you right down. As soon as they get a sight, anything. Them motherfuckers is fast. They watch. They can see shit fast because they know who to hit, not to hit. You know, I watched that show SWAT with Hondo and them too, with Shamar Moore. So I know how this shit go. You know, I'm kind of like an honorary SWAT member and shit. I just don't be going in I just rather do YouTube. But yeah, I'm like an honorary SWAT. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm tripping. Listen, Mike crazy ass takes his ass inside the prison. And they showing this on the news. So his mom is watching from the house. And she like, no, Mike, why are you going in there? Like, what are you doing? And her old ass about to have a heart attack. I feel so bad for her. And she decides to get in her car, in her robe, in her gown. I said, fuck that. And drive down to the prison. She said, I'm driving down for my babies. I already lost one baby this season. I'm not losing another one. So she decides to drive to the prison and see her babies, man. And I respect it. I really do, because that shows a mom's love for her children, man. For real, for real. Mike puts on the vest, and he's walking in there, and shit just looked crazy, man. You could tell he had some fear in his heart. He did have some fear, but he had to pull it together, and kind of just, he gotta, I don't want to say shoulder it off or brush it off, but he has to pull it together and just do what he needs to do, because shit is riding on him. You know what I'm saying? So, back at the house, we see Iris. She just taking in the nature and taking in the sounds, and she is fucking weird, bro. I'm sorry. I know she been through some shit, but she was weird before that too. But she a sweet girl at heart, you could tell. But you could tell something is wrong with her. Something did a number on her. She's definitely gonna have some kind of psychological issues for a long period of time. And I don't know if being out there by herself is helping. I don't know. I think she might need to be around some people, but I don't know if that'll help either. But she gets paranoid, goes in the house. And I thought she was going to have a run-in with the bear for some sort, but I see she didn't. But she get the fuck out. Oh, she did see the bear, actually. I'm sorry, I must have missed this part. I'm watching it now as we talking. Yeah, she saw the bear. She didn't even say nothing to the bear. What is she doing? Oh, she did. She bolted in the house. She got the fuck out of there. I just saw that. I'm watching it as I'm recapping. She did see the bear. She got the fuck out of there. Mike didn't tell her about the bear. She grabbed a knife. Listen, baby girl, that knife ain't gonna do nothing for that big ass bear, baby. Sorry. That knife ain't gonna do nothing. Mike didn't tell her about the bear. What's wrong with him? So now she feel like she trapped in the house. She having a breakdown. So that's why she had the knife when he came in with her dirty feet. Oh, yeah. So, listen. Back at the house where the shootings and shit took place. They got the blue light on. They analyzing everything. And they, they trying to see exactly what caused everything. And we see that they got like some acid in the tub where I think they must have put the bodies at and dissolved them, because I was wondering like what happened to the bodies? And they resumed everything else. And he was like, yo, I thought this was a cookhouse. He was like, but I don't think there was a cookhouse. I think they was just cleaning up the fucking mess that happened. That's what it seemed like was going on. You know what I'm saying? They heard the shots. Somebody must have called the higher ups or the cleanup. I think they might have been just in there trying to clean the shit up, and then the police wind up coming in. But I don't know. I think I would have just waited and let them fucking clean it. I don't know what the fuck happened. But anyway, they find a shell casing, and they also find a phone, and the number in there they find that the guy dialed was Mike McCluskey. So he like, yo, what do we do about this? And I was like, oh, what the black dude gonna be? Is he gonna be a hero, or is he gonna fucking look out for Mike? And he looked out for Mike. He tossed that bitch right in the tub. His partner was like, what are you doing? He's like, man, that's our home. He one of us. What you mean? I thought that was dope. But yeah, they dissolved the bodies and that's crazy, man. People gross. Anyway, Mike walks up in here. They give him a briefing. And listen, when I seen the warden the whole time, I was kept shouting at the TV like, this is all your fault. It's all your fault. If you would have listened to your men, locked the damn prison down, none of this would be happening because of you. But sure enough, he's outside. You know when shit popped off, they got his bitch ass right out the prison. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, National Guard comes in. This is when Mike goes in because they want to set up and make sure they got snipers in place for him and shit. And they kind of all prep talking him and tell him what to do. At the same time, SWAT's walking through. They still chopping everything down. I love this scene. Man, they was really knocking everything down for real. As they're in the tower, Mike walks in. And, yo, that guard was still up there the whole time, dude. And the National Guard guy was like, yo, what are you doing up there? He was like, this is my post. he should have just let the nigga rock out. Like, why he done humiliated the man, took his gun. And I thought he took the clip out, but he must have put it on safety and then just left the gun there with him. So once dude wake up, I don't know why he started shooting the National Guard down. He must have just feel humiliated. But, man, what a way to go. And I told you he didn't want to be here anyway because of the way his wife treats him. We see Milo found a uniform and he's peeking out the door. I guess just waiting for the right time to get out of there. And I'm like, oh, boy, this is about to be something. Anyway, Mike walks up in the yard and they got him. And he's talking, and we found out who the leader is obviously the Crip guy, P-Dog. And he's having a conversation with him. And, man, this was a powerful scene in so many levels because this is what I was saying in my last review, how they were treating these guys, you know, why they revolted. No, I don't agree with how they, you know, obviously I don't agree with fucking killing a bunch of innocent people or a bunch of people that's collateral damage or just killing in general. You know what I'm saying? But you got to understand the shit the guys were doing to him. And all this was just a power struggle in order to show dominance. But it was like, listen, y'all wanted us to kill somebody for y'all. Loosen up a little bit. We not asking for much. Y'all do give us much, but, man, like, just treat us like we're respecting. He just gave this powerful speech like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. He was just like, the dude, he was like, yo, you in here for attempted murder. You was in here for attempted murder. He like, yeah, but the guy that I killed was a murderer too or something like that, he said. And I'm like, damn, that's deep. He was like, but you think they care about that? He was like, they demoralize us. They make us less than human, man. They up there feeding. He's like, they feeding me shit. He's like, they taking my letters. I sending my daughter, wiping their ass with it and giving it back to me. I'm like, damn, dude. He was like, how was that living? How was that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's tough. Like, he was just like, he's like, I'd rather die. He's like, I'd rather live. He said, I'd rather die as being somebody that stood up for the cause or stood up what I believe in than to die as a broken man, institutionalized by the system or something like that. And I'm like, that's like the gist of what he was saying. And I'm like, damn, dude, that's deep. That's some deep stuff, man, for real. Because I feel him. You know what I'm saying? I feel where he's coming from. But at the same time, I see the other side of it. But I do feel where he's coming from because that one episode where they just came in prison or the cell, they shot him with the rubber bullet and threw him in a hole, and they was just feeding him shit. And it's just like, yo, what the fuck I do? And he told him, he's like, yo, I got the wrong cell, cuz. And they just wanted to show dominance. So right then and there, dude kind of wrote his death sentence. The one deputy or guard, that was his death sentence right then and there, that particular scene. And I think dude knew that. I think he knew that one day he would get his revenge. And that's exactly what he did, man. So when he's walking in, dude was like, Mike, you got to get us out of here. He's like, working on it. And I didn't think they was going to kill nobody with Mike, but once he told him the message and what he wanted, he was like, you tell him that, Mike. You tell him that. So I was like, okay, they're going to let Mike back out. That's one thing about Mike, man. He got a lot of respect for people, man. A lot of respect from people, from the inmates, because he used to be one of them. That's the only reason why. He used to be one of them. He was on that inside of that wall before. So he know how it is. So he knows both sides of it. You know what I'm saying? But he just tries to keep the peace. But Mike told him, don't do this. He said, listen, they would listen to Mike from the jump. He was like, yo, don't do this. You don't be on them. You don't want to be on them no favors because it's going to come back to bite you in the ass, man. And he told him that. He tried to prevent it. He tried to prevent it when they sat at that restaurant. But he told dude, P-Dog told the prisoner, he's like, man, you never leaving this bitch. And he spoke true to his word, and he walked up to him, and he shot dude right in the head. And it was on from there, boy. Whew. This was crazy. This right here made this episode probably better than the last episode. The National Guard hits P-Dog and then just starts slaughtering everything moving. If you had a weapon, if you didn't have it, just laying the whole yard out, dude. If it was 100 inmates, I would say 60 or 70 of them got slaughtered. Upon this happening, I told you that the one Depp wakes up and he shoots one of the National Guard. And dude was being an asshole to him. You know, he was wrong for it, but dude ain't have to kill him either, man. I was like, yo, why is they shooting with Mike down there? They did not give two fucks, man. Soon as shit popped off, they started laying him out, man. Mike, they didn't care if Mike was there or not. They was just like, fuck it. Bow, bow, bow. Luckily, Mike hit, and he didn't get hit. Luckily, I'm like, yo, it ain't no way he not gonna get hit. And he didn't get hit. Yeah, that shit was crazy, though. They was laying every fucking thing out. I'm like, yo, this is nuts right here. This is really nuts. Like, for real, for real. But yeah, I enjoyed that scene in the yard, man. That was P Dog definitely stole that scene, man. He brought out his chops right there, man. You felt how his side felt on it. Like I said, I don't agree with everything they doing, but I understand it. You know what I'm saying? I understand why they doing what they doing. They getting demeaned, man. You getting treated less than fucking a human. And I know, listen, everybody make mistakes in life. You know what I'm saying? And the consequence of that mistake is serving your time. It's bad enough you got to deal with that, but if you in there doing what you need to do, and you ain't in there for no pedophilia or no other stuff like that, stuff happens, man. It's all kinds of ways situations go wrong, whether it's self-defense. And he said his was a self-defense. It was kind of like, if I didn't get him, he'd get me. And that might be true, but at the same time, he was like, yo, they let us do. He was like, drugs is cheaper in here than they're on the streets. And just telling the contradictions they have, you know what I'm saying? Like, they was really mad at the fact that we asked for more, just a little bit more, because we did y'all a favor. And but anyway, they start laying everything down. Mike's covering as they're doing this outside. The SWAT's doing this inside, and they wind up coming out. And everything kind of gets the jail gets retooken. The leader of the Hispanics gets popped. I don't know if he's gonna lose his life. I know he got shot in the arm or whatnot. And then like I said, P Dog got shot. And P Dog, man, when he got shot, man, the embrace he had for him, dude, you could tell he felt that, dude. That was his dog, and he got killed, man. And he wound up surviving. So I think dude probably gonna wind up taking over. His right-hand man. But Mike and Kyle come out, they embrace. As they're coming out the gate, Mom Dukes is standing out there. They all embrace for a second. And Mike is just happy to be alive. Kyle's probably going to have anxiety or some kind of problems for the rest of his life, because that was a terrifying situation. And that was life or death, man. That could have went any way. At the end of the day, Mike leaves, comes back to the cabin. We see Milo escaped. He acted like he was helping an inmate out, or a Depp out. And then he winds up taking his clean break. And I thought he was going to get back to the cabin, and Milo was going to be there waiting for him. But that wasn't the case. Iris was there with the knife. And she just realized, like, she said, I just realized that I'm always going to be broken. Like, I'm never going to be fixed. And some other shit. I don't fucking know. She weird. But anyway, great episode. Great season. One of my best shows. I'm going to do a list of my top shows. I don't know if this is counted as 2021 or 2022. I don't know. Probably 2022 because it's the new year. But, yeah, great episode. I love it. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And I want to know what you guys thought about this episode. Is anything I left out? Make sure you leave it in the comments. Let's have a healthy discussion. Always be respectful. And as always, stay positive. Peace.